Like in India, you could go and give your dog. They will look after your fucking dog till you come back. Not issue, man. You know what I mean? You give people, neighbors your keys, your car. Like we don't do this. It's very poor people look after each other. This is built into our culture. And why people think it's all that my keys, your keys, I want my jeans. And it's like your jeans are shit names. There's nothing great about your fucking jeans. You look like a potato fan. There's nothing great about your fucking jeans. Why do you need that? You know? And then you adopt a kid, this and that, and then, oh, I want to know that. And then it's like, but then like, you know, how horrifying for the parent that has to meet this kid, and then you have to look them in the eye, and then have to like explain to them why, you know what I mean, all this sort of stuff. It's not for them to know. It's not your business. In my opinion, it's not your business. You're a child. The best thing that was supposed to happen to you happened to you. Be fucking thankful. Don't show up here and fucking you're adopting this man that you someone took you from a horrible situation or whatever it may be and raised you and looked after you. Whatever the reason that is that put you in that situation is not relevant. Or does it matter? Obviously, you know, if someone kidnapped you and raised you, that's a whole different story. But that's not the case, is it? You know? People fucking have 100 fucking reasons as to why they give up their kids. And then imagine like 20 years down the track, you have to go and deal with that decision that probably haunts you for your whole life, and then you have to look that person in the face now. Horrifying. So selfish. I would be like, yes, you're adopted. You know what I mean? Your mom couldn't look after you, this and that. Well, you can leave it there. No, you can't go find her and this and that, blah, blah. No. How heartbreaking would that be? And then you have some fucking 20-year-old kid all pissed off and this and that, blah, blah. Why didn't you want me? Can you imagine? Like, what the fuck, man? How ungrateful kind of fucking shit is that, bro? Like that movie, that Lion movie? Fucked up.
No, that's a different set of circumstances.
Different. Yeah. First of all, different set of circumstances.
Yeah.
Absolutely correct. Different set of circumstances. In that situation, I understand that. Because all of us, because it wasn't like he was a baby when it happened. He was very conscious of what the fuck happened. He got lost and he remembers all of this.
Yeah, he remembers tracks back and fucking.
You know what I mean? So he remembers all of this. So that situation is different. But if you're a baby, and you get adopted as a baby, like that bridge should get burned, finished. And then if you're a black kid, it's like, yeah, you're adopted, and you know, whatever the reason may be, tell them the reason for sure. But I don't think that they should have any contact and all of this sort of stuff. Fuck no. Like that fucking chick, she's like, I want to have an open adoption. Like, what?
Yeah,
how selfish is that? Either have the kid or don't have the fucking kid. And if you're gonna have the kid and you can't take care of the kid, then let the kid fucking. This kid's fucking like there's two parents and it's all fucked up, and white people are so fucking weird, man. It's just weird. I don't understand that at all. That open adoption, I didn't even know that was a thing.
What is that? But most people don't. Most people want to close adoption.
Because no one is thinking about the kid. Bottom line is no one is thinking about the kid. They're all thinking about themselves. My kid, my jeans, my. Why aren't you thinking about the kid? How is it going to affect the kid?
I think the person who's adopted is not necessarily.
No, I'm talking about the person that's wanting to have an open adoption.
No.
How selfish is that? It's extremely, in my opinion.
And like I know somebody who now I know two people actually that were raped and kept their children. That's insane too.
Again.
But one
Again, even in that scenario, the kid is not, the kid doesn't know, they're not going to do this, right? And some people don't want to abort the kid, I can understand that, you can understand that necessarily, I can understand that, I can appreciate that concept. But, like, people don't realize how much you fuck with kids by doing weird shit like that. It's fucking weird.
But how fucked was that from my friend Lisa? That she got fucking gang, well not gang raped, but raped by those two fellas, and then had twin girls and they fucking died. Oh, that shit's like. But then that goes back down to like fucking London as well, because they were talking about the CCTV cameras. She was like, yeah, they fucking, they got them. Like her and the her and the other lady, they raped Lisa and the other lady, wherever the fuck it was in London, and they fucking got him. And then he goes in court over that fucking 100-year-old fucking law that they fucking had. He had the right from jail, mind you, for raping her, to then have access to half of the baby's ashes. There's some fucking weird old 100-year law. That's fucked up. That was a weird
But then again, it's like, what does that matter?
There's no chance in the world would I give.
Yeah, but what does that matter? She's dead. What does it matter?
You want to give the rapist father half of the
I
kid's
don't
ashes?
want to give anything, but my point is, but if you look at it, it's like, how does it matter? People put so much of this in the Nietzsche that need a shrine for him. Why? She's dead. What? You know what I mean? People, this is white people logic.
Yes!
This is Anita. Anita's got into this. She's been hanging around these white people in these universities too long. And she's got this weird, white, fucking, selfish, strange mentality. Oh, there's nowhere we
I said it, Benny. What?
What are you talking about, bro? You'll go visit someone. There's a fucking decomposing body in the fucking grave, and you're going and standing there and speaking to a stone. Like, that's your thing if you want to do it, but let's be honest here, the person's fucking dead. Like, there's nothing gonna bring her back. You making a shrine is only making you feel better. Wherein comes the selfishness. No? What did you do when Anjali was alive? Taco. And now when you're dead, now when she's dead, you want to do all of this bullshit. Selfishness, just to make yourself feel better.
That sounds nice.
I mean, like, for me, it's like, people are dead, Then anything like,
I should like...
it's like, yeah, if they had some certain wish that they wanted to when they were alive and they told you about it, and you're trying to...
What takes so long just to get dinner ready? Like,
I
what?
want to be buried here with this gravestone saying that that's what they
I know
wanted
must
when
be
they were
calling
alive,
something
they told
special.
you, then you did that. I understand. And then someone's dead and then all of a sudden you create this bullshit in your fucking selfish fucking concept of what you want to justify your bullshit.
Eat.
And where though?
No, why? Who said this?
No, I can see why some people
Why?
want that.
What the hell?
Why? What does it do?
Oh, yeah.
It just makes you feel better. Why do
Did-
you need to feel better? Because you're selfish.
Oh. I didn't.
No one made a fucking shrine with me, not fucking for sure, but I don't want some fucking stone somewhere. What for? Why?
Oh wait, I can fix my house
Put
now.
ashes in the ocean, huh? Game over, man. Yeah, definitely. Ashes in the ocean. Preferably Indian.
Whoa, what the?
Why? It's just like, that's the thing. There's so much selfishness in the world, and it's so pervasive. It's like most people don't realize how selfish they are.
So what I need to do?
Built into the culture.
Oh god.
Same way with this rapist guy wanting his kid's ashes. It's selfishness.
I don't think he wants them at all. I think he's just being a cunt.
No, I think it's selfishness. The same
Wait.
reason why somebody wants
Did I see that right? Wait, hold up.
to have their own child. It's exactly the same reason why this guy wants his fucking ashes, because that's my child, technically. It's all boils down to selfishness.
Bruh.
And it's so pervasive in our culture nowadays. Selfishness. You know what I mean? What about all the people that cannot afford a tombstone?
There's
What about them? No? Oh,
Right.
it's like, yeah, but what are you talking about? How many people in the world don't have the opportunity for how many things? I mean, Anjali is Indian, he wants to go back and build a shrine. How many people in India get the opportunity to do that? We fucking have like mass cremation in India, big fucking chambers, full fucking 100 people at a time fucking going. They don't even afford to fucking have one cremation chamber for that fucking stuff.
Easy.
But some people don't even do that. They go into a field somewhere, build their own thing, and burn the motherfucker themselves. Under a fucking bit of fucking wood and shit, you know what I mean? They don't even get the ashes out of the situation. It's a big fucking wood pile in the house and it's finished, game over. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's too much selfishness in the world, and it's so undercover. You know, it's all just
I don't know.
these random fucking things. It's like, oh, then you have IVF, but then you can't become because you're playing God. Aren't you already playing God by now? You can't have a kid back here. And anything from that point onwards, if you're playing God now, already. After that point, Karen fucking you better be made. You are
What?
creating a child out of thin air or out of some crazy fucking animality. But whatever they're doing, it's not natural. So whatever you're doing, if you're gonna do that, you better make sure you come up with the best fucking kid possible and you give that kid the best fucking chance of having the best fucking life you can fucking have. Because you're deciding to make this fucking kid. This kid has no choice in the fucking matter. And then all of a sudden you decide to have this kid's Down syndrome, now this fucking human being has to suffer for the rest of their fucking life just because you want to have a fucking kid. That's disgusting. Fucking disgusting. And I would say 90% of the world would not see that. Maybe even more. Most people wouldn't see that. But when you think about it deeply, you come to the conclusion that it's just pure self-interest. It's nothing else. And there's so many kids that need a home. So many kids that need a home. People don't want to have no life, it's not mine. But you're not the same boat, bro. You're not Michael Phelps. You're not Einstein. You're not a scientist. You're not going to tell you that your genes are worth nothing.
Something I don't think that should be.
No, of course it should. No, the thing is, like, and of course, then you're thinking of the greater good of the fuck. Like, for example, if Einstein, you know, if you have an amazing intellectual thing, you have an amazing genes, and then you want to have a kid to pass on those amazing genes, I can understand that. That's beneficial to the world. If you're a fucking, like, incredible fucking genome editing, whatever crazy fucking scientist, and you want to have a kid, because you want to pass on those amazing genes that you have, that makes sense. But if you're some bogan fucking dickhead somewhere, why are you going out of your way to recreate your shitty genes? For what? Just to satisfy your deep-seated selfishness. Haram. Fucking haram. I feel very strongly about that. I think it should be banned. They should ban that. You can't have a kid, great. There's a fucking. They should create all of that money and all of that whole industry. Why don't we just shift the focus from trying to have people's kids, shift the focus to placing kids that need homes around the world, people that can't have kids. Make it whatever, you know what I mean? Instead of like, oh, you can't have kids, instead of just go straight to IVF, what about giving them the other option? We have, what kind of kids you want? Pick one. From anywhere in the world, go visit this and that, blah, blah, whatever kind of kids you want, whatever age you have, we'll find it for you. And you then spend that money that you were going to be spending on IVF, let's put that money towards helping fucking orphans, like make an international fund to help orphan children around the world and place orphan kids around the world, instead of spending so much money, you know, funding fucking big pharma.
And there's still starving people around the world. There's still
Disgusting.
poverty everywhere.
It's disgusting.
Like even, remember when the church burned down? And at the start I thought, oh wow, that's so terrible. But then when the donations started fucking going, I was like,
And they did it on purpose,
that's disgusting.
And you know they torched that on purpose.
No.
Fucking hell. They've been struggling with money. They were fixing the church. And they was
Fucking Catholic, fucking church.
they were struggling to get funds together to repair that church. And then they torched it, and then they got the money to repair the church instantaneously. It was a total fucking setup job. 100.
But you know what I mean? Like everyone was calling like fucking saying that, like, look, the majority of Africa, I would say, apart from South Africa, would be in some type of line of poverty. Sometime. And then nobody fucking...
I mean, 80% of the world is in poverty. Start from there. Also, what people don't understand. 80% of the world makes less than fucking $100 a month. Just start there. Whatever else it is, like everybody's on people like, oh, white privilege. It's just like, hang on a minute. What about your privilege? The fact that you're American in a first world country is already privilege. Straight up. That's the glory that it stops somewhere. You have your like scale of morality and it stops somewhere at your border of the fucking country that you live in. Why don't we just extend your morality? Oh, it's their white privilege. What about your privilege? Count your fucking blessing. The fact that you're wearing Jordan trainers and then you have shoes. What about that privilege? You know what I mean? Then anybody can turn around and say anybody has privilege. Like, Americans are the most privileged people on the fucking planet, regardless. Even if you live in the ghetto of America, you're a privileged motherfucker. The fact that you have running water is privilege. The fact that you have sanitation is privilege. The fact that you have a toilet to sit on is privilege.
The other thing I don't understand is how can you fucking have homeless people in first world countries? I don't understand that. And like even Australia, I actually struggle. How did we have so many homeless people when we have benefits?
Selfishness.
But when we have benefits, when they can, but because if they don't have like a residential address and they can't get them, like I just don't understand it. Under those circumstances, should Australia have any fucking homeless people? Unless they're choosing to want to do that.
Like, I don't actually understand. I don't know too much about the homeless situation, life or homeless people. Because the meaning is the same. You can get benefits.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you need to be homeless. I don't understand it. To be honest, I don't get that situation. But it's just selfishness. You know what I mean? It's just selfishness.
Like any country.
And you're talking about people like, oh, in LA, even Joe Rogan is talking about like, oh, in LA they have this and that, blah, blah. I'm like, you're 100 millionaire.
Yeah.
You're not just a millionaire, you're 100 millionaire. Like, what the fuck have you ever done in your life to help anybody else with your hundreds of millions of bucks? Like, everybody that's living in LA, unitedly, how much money do these motherfuckers have? What have you guys all unitedly done to help the situation? No, the government this, that, blah, blah. No, what the fuck? Why aren't you involved? Why the fuck aren't you involved? You're making money. It's just lucky, first
And I
of all.
think if you wanted to do stuff with charity and stuff, you have to be so fucking careful. You would always want to give the money direct. Somehow, because if you start, you have people take taxes and people like.
No, but how much money would it cost? 100 grand? What is 100 grand out of 100 million? 0.001%. You know? I think that should be a rule. That should be a rule. As soon as you hit fucking more, like, yeah, once you go
So how
past.
did your uncle do?
Yeah, he gets like, he has people that, people around the world that fucking send him money. But not much. They live very simple.
Every little bit helps.
They live very simple. Do you know what I mean? They live very simple. You know? But I'm saying, like, for example, you have like, if every single actor, TV star, TV presenter, this and that, people, all them, they're all millionaires. I think the rule should be, if you're a millionaire, you need to give 1%. You have to give 1% to poor people. Straight up. That should be part of the tax situation. 1%. After you cross $1 million, every dollar you make after that, 1% of that has to go towards helping people. And when you make $1 billion, 10%. Poverty sorted in 5 years. Because what are you doing? Sitting on your money, doing what? What are you doing with your money? Sitting on it, doing what? You know, people that have like fucking, you know, all of these people that have like billionaires, all like there's like 300 billionaires in the world. What are they doing with this money? You can't spend it. There's no fucking way you can buy what with it. There's nothing you can do. You can buy a country, motherfucker. What are you doing with your money? Nothing. You're just sitting on it, and then your kids are gonna spend it and squander it, and you're just like creating this bullshit fucking situation. What are you doing with your money? All of these people, especially in America, the amount of fucking rich people in America, and nobody's helping out the situation. They have homeless people left, right, and center, all of these issues, this and that, blah, blah. And there's so many millionaires. I mean, in America, so can't even count how many millionaires are in America. And what are they fucking doing? Fuck, well, then they go and give money to these big charity events and blah, 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 and they're all eating the money then fucking
Yeah, that's right.
bollocks, bro.
That's right.
And then they all stand around and say, oh my god, this homeless situation is terrible. And I'm like, well, you got $100 million, what the fuck did you do?
Like the movie that I love, Beyond Borders, they go around like all parts of the world and they were doing charities and stuff like this, and then fucking what's his name? He rocked up in London and took Jojo with him, and they're all carrying on about like helping out this African charity and all that. It cost just to go to that charity dinner $1,500.
And how much of that money translates?
This is a movie, but I'm sure this shit happens all the time.
No, but like how much of that money translates?
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yeah. If I was going to do something, I would personally go and make sure that that money is delivered personally. Or I would buy the items or whatever, so there's no funky business happening. That's my only.
No, I would just go. I would go hire someone, do the research, pick a village. Go pick a village. Now this village is funded by me. Finished. What do you need? Everything we do. We sort of put a school here, this and that. Everybody in this village, this many thousands of people. I look after you now for the rest of your fucking life. It would cost you nothing. Nothing.
You that was saying
but the thing is, but this is again where selfishness comes in, because there's no glory in that, right? There's no camera crew. There's no camera crew in that. There's no bunch of people. They're all standing around clapping for you and giving you
But generally, if
award.
people are doing that, then they want.
They want the glorification of the situation, and that's what costs money. Right? You want to be at this gala because you want to look like you're doing something and blah blah. You don't care if you're actually doing something. It needs to look like that because you want to be selfish. Oh. It really bugs me when you have these rich white people. Like, oh my god, the situation just like, even Joe Rogan all the time. It's horrible, the homeless situation is terrible, this and that, blah blah. I'm like, you became famous in LA. You owe every single cent you have, you owe to the industry that's in LA. What have you done to give back to LA?
Has he done anything though? He probably does do charity things.
Fuck no. If he did, he would talk about it.
That's very selfish. If you don't.
If he did, he would talk about it. For sure.
Well, that's right.
Why would he not?
Why would you?
Why would he not? Everybody else does. But that's the thing. You don't become rich by not being a cunt. It's like part of puzzle. You have to be a cunt to be rich. So people that are like living their lives like my friend who's looking after that orphanage and blah blah. He doesn't have the mentality to become a millionaire. It's not how he thinks. It's not selfish. Really bad.
We can go in there and edit the genes and make sure that the child doesn't have this incurable disease. Yeah, and so, I always struggle when people use that term, playing God. I mean, without sounding disrespectful, I feel like if God were playing God, we wouldn't have to do it. But if you think that, all right, I believe in God, God is making decisions about my children, and God has for some reason decided my kid is going to have a deadly genetic disorder, I'd say, well, I'm not down for that. And so that's why we can't pretend like we don't have these powers that we increasingly have, and that's why I call these powers godlike powers in biology, AI, and many other areas.
It's inevitable that if we survive and we don't blow ourselves up or some sort of a natural disaster, that human beings are going to get better at virtually everything we do currently. We're going to figure out more innovative ways to do things. We're going to invent better technology, and we're going to figure out ways. I mean, we already have figured out. You know what?
It's cold. It was cold. And you gave.
It wasn't meant to be hot 200 years ago. So
want it hot?
Difference. Very, very short. But biologically speaking, a very tiny frame of time, but a radical increase in lifespan, a radical increase in the possibility
I like it hot.
infection, disease, injury, where we're already playing God.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the rate of that increase is accelerating. People talk about exponential change, that's what they mean. But one of the ways of thinking about that is about 100 years ago, there were 2 billion people on Earth and around roughly a 20% literacy rate. That's about 400 million people who are able to contribute to the world's knowledge. Now we're approaching 7 billion people, 85% literacy rate. We're all connected to each other through the internet system. Many of us are. And so that means if you're kind of solving any problem, one, you have access to the whole world of knowledge. And two, once you solve that problem, nobody else on Earth has to solve it again. And so and then we have, it's not just these individual tools, like the computers and AI and CRISPR and other biology tools. There's a super convergence of all of these technologies. So everything is getting faster, and the rate of change is accelerating. And that's why I totally agree with you. It's like that our ability to kind of solve new problems, to create new realities that feel like science fiction today, but will just become our normal tomorrow. And that's what's happening now. So our brains came of age on the African savannas. And so our brains aren't really designed to deal with this incredible rate of change that we're experiencing.
Do you ever stop and think, you ever sit alone by yourself and wonder where this is going to lead?
Yeah.
You ever? Yeah. There's a video that I put on my Instagram yesterday that my friend Eddie sent to me. It's Walter Cronkite from like the 1950s. And he's talking about the future, and it's amazing. It's really interesting. Because it's a short video, we can play it real quick. But it's Walter Cronkite talking about the household of the future and what technology will be available to us. And it's so dead on. It's like, I've never seen this before, because most of the time when people talk about the future, they talk about jetpacks and flying cars and time machines. But in the 1950s,